How did you find the process of writing non-fiction different from writing fiction?
I think in the end I found it much easier.
Yeah.
The fictionalized was because I felt, I'm not important enough, nobody's going to be interested in me. So I fictionalized it. But when I wrote it down and I was given a sort of okay to write it about me, then I found it much easier, really.
So once you had that validation, they said,
Yes.
yes, we do want to know about you.
And I felt I could be much more honest as well.
Writing non-fiction.
Yes.
Well, that sort of leads on to my next question in a way. You're obviously writing about real people.
Yes.
Some who were wonderful and some who were a lot less wonderful.
That's right.
What responsibility do you think you have as a writer when you're writing about real people?
I think I have a responsibility, whether I think highly of them or not, is to respect them, not to malign them, to make it as fair and as if you were in a court of law and making decisions, but not to come down heavily on one side. Your prejudices should not come through. You should be making a considered judgment.
A case almost for the reader to take
Yes,
forward.
and I think that's the only honest way to write, really, because it comes over very clearly. If I hate that person and I'm going to say all the nasty things I've always wanted to say, that's not on. That is unprofessional. It's wrong, and it's not fair.
Okay. Do you feel your experience as a teacher
Yes.
has influenced that?
Tremendously.
You must
Tremendously.
have had to write reports for children you
Yeah,
maybe
I would
weren't
never. I learned very early on that the worst harm you can do to a child is to damn them. Always find something positive to say, because it's very cruel and very unfair.
Yeah.
And it's your own personal point of view, and other people might see it differently. I'm not in the profession of destroying people, I feel that very strongly, actually.
And in a way it would have been easy for you to do, given people around you.
I'm not even sure about that, because there were so many good people around as well, people who were willing to risk their own lives, who were willing to sacrifice themselves for a stranger sometimes, a child. There were so many children dying, it was almost, it's the wrong word, a non-event. But there were people who were willing to risk their lives for other people. I think all people deserve respect, whether you like them or not.
You've written about a period of history that's been very heavily documented.
Yes.
And when we've been talking about when Hitler stole Pink Rabbit. And obviously there are other memoirs, Primo Levi, Anne Frank.
Yes.
How did those books influence what you wrote? Did they influence you?
Would it be very conceited to say that they didn't?
No, not at all.
I never really thought about them. I was writing from my own personal feelings and experience.
Yeah. So you didn't feel overshadowed or
I didn't feel
or-
overshadowed or overawed or superior or anything else. I was writing about me and the way I saw things as a child.
Okay. I've only got 2 more questions for you, so this will be nice and quick. I said your memoir is beautifully written in a child's voice, you as a child.
Yes.
What advice would you give to other authors trying to write in a child's voice? How did you keep that so authentic?
I think it's because I didn't try to. I was just living the memories and writing as I felt. These memories stay. If you've had them as a child, they stay in a childish way. I know it wasn't historically very good or anything like that, but I was writing about me and my reaction to my particular situation. So I never really tried to contrive anything. I just wrote.
And then my last question is, what one piece of advice would you give to an author who's writing their life story or writing a memoir?
I would say, can I quote, "This
Yes.
above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man." Don't try to impress, don't try to glamorize, don't try to sensationalize, just write from the heart. That's how I feel about it anyway.